Speeding tickets are difficult to contest, and the fines aren't cheap either, ranging from £100 up to a huge £2,500. But you do have the right to challenge a speeding ticket, so I'll talk you through the 4 most common defences in a minute. You'll have to respond to your notice of intended prosecution within 28 days. If it's sent in the post, it has to arrive within 14 days of the speeding offence. Successful appeals are based on technicalities like how the speeding ticket was issued and where the fine was issued. You don't have the opportunity to say, "Can't remember who was driving the car," because it's known as failing to name and could land you with a driving ban and a £2,500 fine. You have to provide the driver's name and address that was at fault. If you want your appeal to stand up in court, here are the 4 most common defences used to challenge a Manchester speeding ticket. 1. The notice of intended prosecution contains the wrong details. Now, this can be the time or date of the speeding offence or the location. If the police have typed up the notice incorrectly, it might be seen as defective, although it might not stand up in court if it's just a name typo. 2. You weren't the driver when the speeding ticket was issued. You have to name the person who is driving by providing their name and address, otherwise you'll face a big fine for failing to name. 3. Speed limit signs were incorrect or missing. Now go and take loads of photos or videos if it's safe to do so to help your appeal. If the area in Manchester where you got your speeding fine has no clear signs, maybe they're broken or hidden, then make sure you gather some evidence. And 4, the measuring equipment used to measure the speed wasn't calibrated or it was used incorrectly. All equipment used to test speeding has to be certified annually, but the police don't have to disclose the evidence until it goes to court. All calibration equipment should be marked with a label stating the date of the calibration and the date of when calibration is next required and who carried out the test. But as you can imagine, this is quite hard to prove. If you're still convinced that your appeal has a good chance, the next step is to plead not guilty to the speeding ticket, and then you'll get a court summons. If you're confident you have good grounds to contest your ticket, have a good understanding of the law and enough evidence to back up your case, then you could represent yourself. But because Manchester speeding fines are so tricky to appeal, the best advice that I can give you is to seek representation. Only 1% of speeding fines are challenged, and only about half of those appeals are successful. Only challenge the speeding ticket if you think you'll win. The government increased fines for speeding in 2017, which is why they're so eye-watering. Now, this is something that I'd want legal advice for, because whether you appeal your fine or not, it's going to cost you a lot of money. If you want to run your speeding fine by a professional first, then you could speak to online solicitors JustAnswer. They run a £5 trial and you'll get on-the-spot advice about whether you should appeal, and it could potentially save you a lot of time and money. I'll leave the link below the video for you, and if you use it, you'll be supporting my channel, so thanks.